let's move on and talk about the country on the other side of the border. The people of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. Pakistan is seeing a rebellion in their own nation. Why? Because of the areas they have illegally occupied from India. Yes, we are talking about the POK. It appears to have grown fed up with Shehbaz Sharif's mismanagement. They are taking to the streets in large numbers across multiple cities, saying enough is enough. Areas such as Kotli, Muzaffarabad, they're all seeing an uprising against the Pakistani illegal occupation. There is the surge that we have seen in the protests which are coming in the wake of recent airstrikes in the region, where the Pakistani IAF bombed innocent people in areas that they themselves have illegally occupied in POK. 8 bombs, remember, were dropped. Children were not spared. Women were not spared. The elderly were not spared. The protests are being effectively led by the Joint Awami Action Committee, which is called the JAAC, which has imposed a full lockdown to protest what it calls human rights abuses in the region. The group has also submitted a comprehensive list of 38 demands to the Pakistani government, which till date illegally occupies POK. In response, authorities have deployed police to control the demonstrators. They've shut down the internet. There's complete clampdown which has happened. Meanwhile, an IED explosion has taken place in the region, which has killed 9 security personnel of the Pakistani forces, with the attack later claimed by the TTP, who have taken responsibility for it. Meanwhile, there's some breaking news which is coming in. There's a massive shutdown as well, which is being reported, which has swept through Pakistan-occupied Kashmir on Monday, which we saw yesterday as there was simmering public anger which has happened over the illegal occupation of Pakistan. POK has said that it only needs azadi from Pakistan. There is public anger which is simmering against Islamabad, and it is boiling over yet again, with thousands hearing the call of Jammu Kashmir Joint Awami Action Committee to protest the decades of neglect, broken promises, systematic exploitation, persecution. In fact, markets, transport, communication networks, all of them have been paralyzed completely across Muzaffarabad and beyond, with even landlines being snapped off for a second day as the region demanded subsidized flour and power. That's all they need. The basic essentials, flour and power. That's all they need. Electricity they are asking for. They're not getting it. Abolition of elite privileges is another one of the demands. An end to the refugee assembly seats is another demand, and also sweeping governance reforms, as they are being called by the Pakistani establishment. So what began as 2 years ago as a plea for basic essentials has now erupted into a full-fledged revolt against Pakistan's entrenched political class, accused of looting resources, silencing dissenter, and indulging in murder of its own civilians to keep them silent. Talks between the protest leaders, the government negotiated, all of this has completely collapsed. Let me go across to Srinjoy Chaudhary, who is joining us, our consulting editor. Srinjoy, we look at the visuals, the number of innocent lives which are being massacred day in and day out, some by their own establishment as Pakistan continues to illegally occupy these areas. Is there going to be any end, any kind of a headway that we can see, or is everything blacked out now, internet being snapped off as well?
As far as Pakistan is concerned, it's really two countries. On the one hand, you have Punjab and the established top brass. On the other hand, you have what is called the colonies. You have POK, you have Balochistan, you have Sindh, and you have a Northwest Frontier province, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. And for the people in the center, all these colonies are, as you said, just for exploiting resources. Nothing else really matters. So as a result, they look down upon them. The people in Punjab, in the establishment, look down on them as they're just colonies. We have our materials to get from there. We have our rare earths to get. We have whatever else we need to get. If we have to explode a nuclear bomb, we will not do it in the Punjab. We will do it far away in Balochistan. That is the mindset. So once you have a mindset like that, then automatically you look down on people. When you look down on people, it begins to show. There will be fewer resources from them, less food, less water, less development. All of these things will add up into a fuse. So Pakistan is really a time bomb, because the situation being what it is, there is an economic problem, there are huge debts, there is a concentration of wealth, the land has not been redistributed, and that's in Punjab alone. And then you have these outlying areas like Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, like POK, like Baluchistan, like Sindh, and there the people are very angry.
Absolutely.
Can you imagine any country using its air force on its own people?
Absolutely.
Now that never happens. That never ever happens in any country.
Absolutely.
But it has been done in Pakistan, not once, but several times. So that is really the problem. And what you are seeing in POK is actually a clear example of the outlying areas rising up in revolt.
Absolutely.
That,
this is an uprising against the systematic exploitation, the systematic persecution, decade after decade. This is a people's movement where everyone in these areas, which are illegally occupied, some of them, are saying enough is enough against the Pakistani administration. Thank you so much, Srinjoy, for putting all of that into perspective. Well, with that, we are going to be slipping into a short break, but these visuals